Can you believe it? It's been a year already here on YouTube, and I just wanted to do a video just kind of talking about my first year on YouTube. It's kind of like a big milestone that this channel still exists and that still posting videos. Subscribers are growing and people are interacting more and more. And it's just been an awesome ride, and I just kind of want to take a video to reflect on the experience and just talk about the journey so far. So let's get into let's talk about why did I even start this channel. I started this channel because I used to scour YouTube trying to find content on graded cards, and there really wasn't much of anything out there. It was so limited, and all of the content was typically bigger names in the industry, like Rudy, Daniel Chang, who else? Really not that many. Saint Hung, stuff like that. Shout out Fable Hunters, great channel. But there just wasn't a lot of just honest, open discussion about the graded card market. Everything was like, I don't want to say like shrouded in secrecy or anything, but it was just like there was nobody talking about it. But I knew that there was such a big community of it. And at that time, I wasn't on Facebook or anything. I'm just like not like a social media kind of person. And I didn't even know that they were like graded Facebook groups on Facebook. And I would try to find content on YouTube, and there was none. And I was like, So when I was doing one of my submissions, I was like, you know what? I should record this and put it up and just kind of see where it goes, see if anybody's interested in this. And so I did. My first video was on BGS submission, and I just talked about the cards that I had gotten graded, and it was well received. People wanted to hear more, and that was really, really cool. It really inspired me to keep going and talk about it. And so I just kept thinking, there were so many topics that I wanted to talk about, because for me, like, I don't know about you all, but in my world, I'm the only one who gives one crap about graded Magic the Gathering cards. Honestly, I don't really have, I play a lot of Magic with my brother, and he's an awesome player and deck builder. And we play a lot of Magic. We have play groups. We play multiple different formats. I play modern, pre-modern, old school, kitchen table, EDH. Like, I'm a big player. But I never really had anybody to talk about graded cards with. And I had like so many things that I wanted to talk about or hear other people talk about too. Like, I was like, I wish other people did this so I could just watch them. But yeah, there just wasn't a lot of content, and I had so many things that I wanted to talk about and had nobody to talk about them with. So this channel kind of gave me the chance to have those conversations, with people who actually felt the same way that I did and had the same interests as I did. And so it became like an outlet for me too. Like, not only was it it's cool to have a channel and content and everything, but at the same time, it's like it's nice to just like flip the camera on and just like everything that I'm thinking about something, and and that people are actually going to listen, and that people are going to comment and tell me their thoughts on the subject. It gets me thinking about my perspective and how other people see stuff too. And it was just really cool to create that outlet. And then deciding what content to do, that was another really fun experience. Like the graded multiplier series that I did, that was 2 videos where I basically numerically broke down how cards are priced in the market and what they sell for. That graded multiplier concept was something that I thought about a lot and had to put a lot of time and brain power into actually, putting numbers, putting your thoughts into numbers. It took a lot of research, a lot of, number crunching. I like that kind of stuff. I do it for work, so, it wasn't that bad, but it took a lot of time. And I felt like it was something that kind of like needed to be done, because there was just no like, I don't want to say there was no rhyme or reason, but there was no one actually talking about what these cards are selling for. And I was like, there has to be some kind of, you know, some kind of trend, some type of formula that these follow, because I noticed that I noticed that nines, typically are just, they're like 25-50% over the price of raw. I know gem mints, there always seem to be like 2 to 3 times the normal one. But I was like, but no, I feel like no one's ever, actually tried to figure this out. And so I did. And I put a lot of time into it. I had a lot of mixed reactions. I had a lot of people who said that, all the numbers were, it was bullshit, that I was, coming up with this stuff, and that there was no way you could, formulaically, quantify this. But then there were a lot of other people that were like, yeah, I noticed the same thing, and it really, or, people that said, wow, this really helped me, evaluate deals that I was looking at, or cards that I was selling that I didn't know how to price. I looked at it, and yeah, your numbers really make sense. And that was really cool. It was really cool to kind of do like something unique like that. And then I've kind of noticed since then that, I don't want to say it was like, just me personally, but I feel like it got the conversation on multiples going, and a lot of other people have run with it, and that's awesome. I think it's really cool. I've seen on a lot of other channels since then, people talking about, multiples, the multiplier, and things like that. And so I just thought it was really cool to hopefully contribute something to the community, in kind of giving like a common language that we can use to, to talk about this stuff in terms of like the pricing of cards. So that was a really cool thing. And then, doing the market reviews, that part of the reason that I wanted to do those graded multiplier videos was because I wanted to evaluate cards in the marketplace. And it was like, I thought to myself, like, how do you evaluate the sale of a graded card? Like, do you just go off the absolute number? And it's like, you can, but in my mind, I was like, well, what really drives that number? And obviously, you start with the price of the card. That's where, how much does a graded card cost? You start with how much does the raw card cost, and then somewhere in there's a premium for the grade. And I felt like the graded multiplier was a good way to evaluate sales in the marketplace, and I kind of stuck with that and done market update videos, which once again there was nobody talking about this stuff. And I was like, I'm such like a I love eBay, and now I'm on Facebook a lot, and I buy cards on Facebook. I buy cards on eBay. I buy graded cards from certain online retailers. There and evaluating those sales in the marketplace was like a really big step, I felt like, for the community, because there's so many people who are into graded cards, and buying and selling and trading and stuff like that, and there just really wasn't anybody talking about any of those sales. Like, there's so many MTG finance related channels that talk about, you can get daily updates on card prices, which is just crazy. I watched those videos for a while, and then I was just like, I can't take this. This is like watching the stock market every day. It's just like, it's too much. So I don't do them that often. It's like once a month. But there were so many, MTG finance type commercials, channels, but none that ever talked about graded cards. I think the only time I ever saw somebody talk about the sale of a graded card was MTG North. I think those are the Canadian guys, the dude with the crazy mustache. I like that channel. They were doing like top sales in the market, and one of them happened to be a graded card. But I mean, aside from that, like, you get Rudy talking about graded cards here and there, but generally that's like really, really, really high end stuff, or him, like, just kind of brushing off grading or something. And I think for someone like that, this stuff just doesn't really matter. Like what's the premium on a illusionary mask BGS 9? Like you're never you're never really gonna get, content or analysis on a channel like that. And another thing on oh no, did this thing stop? No. Okay, sorry, false alarm. Where were we? Oh, Alpha Investments. So Rudy, everybody watches Alpha Investments. As do I. But I remember one of his videos, he mentioned that, people were trying to sell him graded cards, and he was talking about how they wanted a premium for the card because it was graded. And when it was in PSA, say PSA 6 or 7, he's like, why would I pay you a premium on a 6 or 7 when that's just like a lightly played or near mint card? He's like, maybe I would pay a premium for an 8. I'd pay a little premium for a 9. And that got me thinking. I was like, well, how does that work? Like, what is the threshold? Like, what is it? There's got to be, like, there's so many sales in the marketplace. There's got to be a way that you can, analyze this data and come up with something. And that got me thinking. And I proved it out. You don't get premium for 8s typically. Your premiums are going to start coming around 8.5 once you get to a silver label. 9s you're going to get 25 to 50%. Maybe you're going to get 2x if it's like a 9 quad plus plus or Arabian Nights or Alpha. I've said this so many times, so forgive me. I don't want to like give the whole spiel again. And then 9.5s you start getting into multiples of 2, 3, 4x. Or if you have a 9.5 quad city in a bottle, you'll get 10x your money. I really like looking at stuff like on a more granular level like that and sharing it with the community. Just because I absolutely love this stuff. I think it's an awesome hobby. It's a cool subset of Magic the Gathering. Like, I'm a player, I have a big player, but I'm also a collector. And I think there's a lot of people that fall into that category too, where it's like, I absolutely love shuffling up a deck of heavily played cards and playing some, vintage or old school Magic or EDH or something like that. But then there's the other side of me that like absolutely loves pristine vintage reserve list cards and slabs and wants like the absolute best graded copy of it. Like I have that like dual brain, shout out dual brain. Like I have that dual brain Magic kind of mindset to it. So I felt like like my perspective as a player and as a collector kind of gave me a good perspective to look at stuff, because there's actually a lot I'm actually surprised at how many people are just collectors. And I know because like there's people that have channels pretty much all about MTG finance, and they don't even play, which whatever, teach their own. If you're not like really into playing, or maybe you don't have a play group. But like to me that's always something that's like just important to stay in the game of Magic the Gathering, because sometimes you can get kind of lost in the financial aspect of the game, and it just literally becomes like a financial thing. And Magic is just so much more to me than that. Magic's been with me since I was in 5th grade, which was a very long time ago. And I love the game. I love playing. I love collecting. I still collect sets. I still have my favorite cards that I collect, like Zerlin of the Claw, stuff like that. Like, and that's another thing. Like I, coming up with like cards that and talking about cards that I really love, like Zerlin of the Claw was one of them. Like I made a video like about a year ago. It was one of my first videos about like underrated, undervalued reserve list cards, and I talked about Zerlin. I was like, I don't know why this card is $5. I'm buying them. I'm grading them. This is like a unique reserve list card that has a great ability in EDH, because I play EDH and I see how stuff like this interacts in the game and what kind of cards people are drawn to in that format. And yeah, I was like, this is such an undervalued card. And sure enough, within a year, got featured on game nights. Now it's like a $25-$30 card. And yeah, so I just think being a player gives you a good perspective that you don't see sometimes when you're just collecting and focusing on the financial aspect of what is a card game. So, also, before I forget to do this, I want to give a shout out to all of the people who have commented from the beginning, people who were my first subscribers and, pushed me to keep going and really encouraged me to do this channel. So I'm going to read off a list of names. Ed Steminator, you were there in the beginning. Jeff Bosky, who has like a huge channel and he's like likes my channel and he's a really cool dude, amazing poker player. But he was there in the beginning too. MTG Moxman, whose channel has like totally blown up. Like I was going back and like MTG Moxman was commenting on my first vids, and you can say what you want about the guy, but anybody who's that passionate about Magic and promoting it and getting new players into it and talking about the reserve list a lot, I just think he brings a lot of good to the community. So shout out MTG Moxman. Osmond, the mad lad who doesn't care about centering, he was there in the beginning. Nerd and proud of it, Jurgen. I remember in the beginning, he and I both started our channels like literally I think within weeks of each other, and we just kind of found each other and started commenting on each other's videos and encouraging each other to keep going. And so shout out Jurgen, you were definitely there in the beginning and I really appreciate you. You have an awesome channel too. James Curry, James was in my video commenting in my videos from the beginning too. We actually did an interview together. Great guy. Dual Brain MTG, Ed, another great channel. He was in the beginning commenting on my videos because he's also into graded cards and he's one of the few other channels that talks about it, and he's been talking about it more, which I think is awesome. The more the merrier in my opinion. So shout out Dual Brain, awesome channel, check that out. Chris the Magnificent, he was there in the beginning thing. Timothy Vanderberg, the other king of the Zerlin of the Claw. that was one of the first like audience interactions that really like it was just really cool. Like I made that video about Zerlin and how I wanted to get a 9.5, and like just so happens that like out of the 4 graded copies that exist, Timothy Vanderberg is I think is your real name. I have no idea if that's your real name. Tim, your real name might be something else, but he was like, oh, I own that other 9.5 Zerlin. And I was like, oh my gosh, like how what a small world that like Zerlin of the Claw, random Magic the Gathering card that I really like. The one other person, one of the few other people in the world is like happens to be watching my channel. So that was really cool. Carla from Germany, I believe, was one of the oh god. Carla was a big fan. She like messaged me on Facebook about how she liked the videos, and I just thought it was so cool that there's also girls who are into this stuff as well. Like it's such a diverse community that I thought that was really cool. Evine was commenting from the beginning. Thomas Gold, he's definitely a big player, especially on like the Facebook groups. He's got a massive, awesome collection. MTG Fan, I remember like browsing the comments of another channel, and he like mentioned to, I think it was Alpha Hoarder, Mike. Shout out Mike, Alpha Hoarder. He like posted in Mike's channel about my channel, and then Mike posted on my video, and then I checked out Mike's channel, and I was like, man, this dude's awesome. This guy's got a crazy alpha collection. And so it was just another one of those really cool things to see, like, the community promoting each other and finding each other. Fabled Hunters, Saint Hung, who I did that video with, he at first At first he was I think he had like some critical views, or like just stuff kind of like he disagreed with me on in terms of like pricing and grading and stuff like that. But we ended up talking a lot, and I think I could say we're friends, and we did that interview together. He came by, like, just it's just such a crazy world. Like, people who you see on YouTube end up becoming like friends in real life. It's just so awesome. Like, what an awesome community we have. Okay, sorry, my computer just ran out of storage space, so I had to stop that video and start recording again. So Devin King was also there in the beginning, commenting on videos. Shout out Devin King. And last one, Johnny MTG, was a cool one. I was doing one of my mail day videos where I talk about cards that I've been buying, and I actually bought some of his cards off of eBay, and he saw my video and was like, "Hey, glad you like the cards," or whatever. And it was just so cool, and it really made me realize like what a tight knit community this is. Like, it's a big community of, I would say, tens of thousands of people who are like actively into collecting, buying, selling graded cards. But it's a really tight knit community, and bringing people together and supporting the community has just been an awesome experience, and I'm really glad that I've stuck with it and kept this channel going. It's been a really cool experience, and I really appreciate everybody who's been there from the beginning, and all the new subscribers. Like, it's crazy. Like, I remember when I started, I was like, wow, it'd be really cool to have 100 subscribers, and then it was like got to 100, 200, 300, 400. Now we're over 500. Over 500 of you mad lads are with me on Jump TG talking about this stuff, and it's just so awesome. One other random little tidbit. So you may have noticed I wear Hawaiian shirts in my videos, and I've been doing that for a while. And that was like just like another random like comment thing from the community that got me doing that. Just kind of random little tidbit about myself. I love Hawaiian shirts. I collect them. I like literally collect them. Maybe I'll do a closet tour one day. But like, I have my favorite brands. I have my favorite materials and patterns and stuff. Like, I get into it. Like, someone posted a comment about my shirt, and I happened to be wearing one day, and he's like, "Oh, you?" I was like, "Yeah, I really like Hawaiian shirts. I have a collection. That one's one of my Tommy Bahamas or something like that." And he's like, "Oh, you should wear a Hawaiian shirt. It can like be your thing." And I was like, "Yeah, hell yeah, I can. Why not?" I love Hawaiian shirts. Why not wear them? It gives me like a chance to wear them. I live in Illinois, so I only have like maybe 6 months out of the year that I could actually wear them. But at home, I could wear them all the time, and that's why that's where I record. So yeah, it was just like something random like that. That I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna bust out one of these for each one of my videos. So in my vids, you've seen all my favorite Hawaiian shirts. This is a Tommy Bahama Island Zone. 100% cotton. I like linen. I like silk. You can get all kinds of crazy stuff. Yeah, just a little tidbit about me, something random. So anyway, here's to another year. Here's to more buying, selling, grading, all this awesome stuff that we all love. I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to keep doing this because I absolutely love it. I love hearing from you all. And seeing the engagement from the community. It's just really awesome. So thank you, everybody. I really, really mean it. It's been an awesome experience. It's a really cool part. It's become a really cool part of my life that didn't exist before, and now it's there. And now I have an outlet to talk about this stuff, and there's people who come together, to talk about this hobby that we all share together. So thanks for an awesome year on YouTube. Here's to the next one. All right, everybody, take care. Have a great one.